it's an interesting film because it's a horror film, and in many ways it's a slasher film, which isn't a genre you normally look at for political commentary and intense drama.
To me, that was the intention, to approach the subject matter, but you know, I've always been a fan of 70s genre of cinema that managed to do very political and social movies, but under the disguise of genre. So I thought, look, if we talk about this subject matter, which is actually in real life horrific, but talk about it through a horror genre, maybe not only can we reach a wider audience, an audience that's not willing to discuss the subject matters, but also we connect with the audience in a visceral way, which I think sometimes those connections are important to have. Like, we have so much rhetorics and intellectual connections with art that sometimes emotions can be more effective.
Yeah, I think the most interesting bad guys, there's got to be an ounce of empathy or sympathy for them. And Sam, I don't know, it's pretty hard to find that, but we had kind of come up with this backstory, or Jonás even kind of just let me go with it. And we actually shot stuff that didn't make the movie because I don't think the audience needed to, I don't think they needed to see it. I think a character like this is sort of so unredeemable that any justification that we'd have put in the movie, it would have been exactly that, and it wouldn't have made it the experience that it is now.
I'm fascinated by Tracker, the dog, simply because it's a character that makes Sam scarier and at the same time also humanizes him.
Well, like, Tracker was since the first draft, and I remember when I showed it to my dad and my uncle so that they would give me notes, one of their main notes was, get rid of the dog. It's your first movie, you don't have that much of a budget, you should not work with animals. And, you know, actually it took me a while to find the right dog, so I did consider getting rid of it, but I never really went along with it because I knew not only it was gonna be kind of the terrifying side of Jeffrey, but also to me it was important that Jeffrey's character, the villain, had a human side. And in a movie where he's completely alone in the desert, his dog was gonna be the only way to show that.
And being a huge dog lover, that was the easiest part. I mean, no one loves a dog more than I do. So even Sam, I think, had a little bit of a heart when it came to that aspect.
There were three, and one of them was like the most like extreme of them. But the other two were completely like easygoing, very fun as well. You know, very excited, super strong. And they did it so well. I mean, they act so well. It's always like that. It always happens like that. The dogs end up doing it so much better than everybody.
I don't ever think of myself as playing a bad guy very often, but you know, if we start breaking down things, I can think of like three off the top of my head. But two are like virtually right now that are being released within a week of each other, you know. And the other really was the comedian. There's been some other little stuff way early in the career, but more often than not, I've kind of erred on the side of good as an actor. Not because I want to. I think I have more fun being the bad guy. And then, of course, you know, the social relevance of this. You know, initially Jonás started writing this script 8 or 10 years ago, you know, and he wanted to tell kind of the immigrant story, but you know, and it was a horror film, really. It's really a thriller / horror movie was what this was intended to be, and it really is that. You kind of grab the edge of your seat and ride it out. And then suddenly, you know, a year ago, this took on a total new relevance with the lovely Donald Trump. And so the movie's been held back until now, and suddenly it's got this whole political aspect to it that I don't think any of us quite anticipated this much. It's a weird position to be in.
Welcome to the land of the free.